Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for the Western Association for College Admission Counseling Virtual College Fair. We are excited that you're here. We have a great group of colleges and universities and presenters lined up for you this evening. So I'm just going to go through a few housekeeping announcements before I turn it over to the experts. First, your cameras and microphones are turned off, so don't worry, we can't see you or hear you. Hopefully you can see and hear us okay. So if for some reason you can't, just send us a message using the Q&A button on your Zoom toolbar, and we'll be happy to help troubleshoot that with you. Speaking of that Q&A button, that's really your best way to engage with our presenters this evening. So as you have questions throughout the session, feel free to send those in the Q&A, and they'll be answering them all throughout the session. So you can send them before a college presents, while they're presenting, or after at any point, and they will be monitoring those and responding to them all throughout the session. Don't forget, this is just one of many different sessions being offered, so be sure to check the StriveScan website where you signed up for any additional sessions you might be interested in. And then we are recording this session, and it will be available within about a week on that StriveScan website as well. So with that, I'm going to turn it over. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. Before I turn it over, I need to show you the schedule for tonight. So this is the order that you will hear from our presenters. We're at the top center, session A3. So we will hear from the University of Pittsburgh, Penn State, Lafayette College, Drexel University, Gettysburg College, and Muhlenberg College as well. So with that, I am going to turn it over to Kelsey to kick things off.
Thank you so much. So welcome everyone. Thank you for joining tonight. I'm excited to talk to you about Pitt and for you guys to learn a little bit more about it. So if you're not familiar with Pitt or the University of Pittsburgh, we are located about 3 miles from downtown Pittsburgh in a neighborhood called Oakland. The photo you're looking at, you can see it is a very urban campus. There's a lot of green space too. So you kind of get the best of both worlds when it comes to our campus, that you can have that city environment, yet you can still feel like you're on a college campus and spend time outdoors. One huge aspect that our students love about being a student at Pitt is everything you can do in the city of Pittsburgh. So we always say Pittsburgh is our campus. So even though we're not in the heart of downtown, we want you to utilize that as a student. We have lots of Fortune 500 companies that you can intern with and make connections throughout your 4 years at Pitt. If you like the food, arts, entertainment, all of that you can get involved with on a student budget, which is really cool. So we have all the amenities of a large city, but it definitely feels like a small, close-knit community when you are in the city of Pittsburgh. And not to mention, it is a big sports city. So even if you don't love Pittsburgh sports, it is really fun because that energy translates onto Pitt's campus. And our students are really passionate about our sports teams and really show that school spirit. As a student, you do get free public transportation, so you will not need a car on campus, especially coming from the West Coast. That'll be really convenient because it'll be super easy for you to get to and from campus, to get around town and enjoy everything the city has to offer. Here's one more shot for you of our downtown. We're just 3 miles off in the distance behind that, but Pittsburgh is a really hilly, beautiful city that we want you to come and enjoy as a student. So a little bit about how our academics are structured at Pitt. We have 5 freshman entry-level schools that you will apply to, with our largest being our Dietrich School of Arts and Sciences. And then going down in that order, largest to smallest, we have our School of Engineering, Business, Computing and Information, and Nursing. Within each of these 5 schools, we have over 100 different majors total, and they are not impacted. So once you are admitted into one of these 5 schools, you can participate in any single major. You can get a double major, a minor, a certificate within that specific school. So we just encourage you to have a general idea of what you're interested in studying. And then once you're in that, you can really explore and figure out kind of what's the best path for you. Some additional academic opportunities that we have for students that we want you to get involved with are, we do have a guaranteed internship program. So we want you to get work experience. We want you to apply what you're learning in the classroom. And this can be through a means of different ways. So you can do it during the semester in downtown Pittsburgh, maybe. We have a great study abroad program. We send students to about 75 different countries. And maybe part of that is you want to do an internship abroad. If you're interested in any of the health science fields, we have 6 hospitals just on our campus alone, as well as dozens of UPMC hospitals all over the city of Pittsburgh. So you can get hands-on experience starting as early as freshman year. We give just under $1 billion every year for undergraduate research. So we really want you to figure out what you're learning in the classroom, how that translates into the real world, and find that passion of yours through all of these different academic opportunities that we have to offer. Now, the best part of being a student at Pitt, I would say, is the student life. So we want you to get involved, take advantage of everything Pitt has to offer outside of the campus, but really take advantage of what we do have on campus. So we have hundreds of student organizations for you to get involved with. Those will be academic, athletic, Greek life, you name it. There's probably multiple student organizations that you can find a home in. We have a really cool program called Pitt Arts that connects with the art scene in Pittsburgh. So maybe a Broadway show is coming to town. Students can get discounted or free tickets through our Pitt Art program. You can go with other students to shows and concerts and really take advantage of some awesome opportunities. As a student at Pitt, you do get free access to every museum in the city. So if that's something of interest to you, that ID is going to be your all access pass. We do guarantee housing. So as long as a student pays their deposit before May 1st, you're guaranteed 3 years of on-campus housing, but it is never required. We also have Division I sports. So you're going to see lots of school spirit and our students are super passionate. We share the same football stadium as the Steelers. So that is also a really fun time when we're at our home games. And just a few quick updates on how to become a Panther in the future. So for the next 3 years and moving forward, Pitt is 100% test optional in every single program. So you do not need test scores to apply to Pitt. Some key things for you to take away from this slide are that we're rolling admission. So please apply early. It's going to be super important as we have limited space in each of our 5 schools. So the later you wait to apply, the more competitive it does get. We also have graduate school guarantees, which are awesome. You will see them on our application. They are not binding, but it's just a really cool incentive if you're thinking long-term about possibly going to graduate school. This is a great thing for you to look into. They range from our most competitive, which is our pre-med guarantee, to, we have public health, business, engineering, all of our different graduate programs on campus. So if you're interested in those, I strongly suggest you check them out. Also, I just want to share my contact information. I am the regional representative in California. So if you guys have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to contact me and I'd be more than happy to help. So with that, I'm going to pass it back to Tyler.
Awesome. Thank you, Kelsey. Okay, next up we are, sorry, my computer is being sluggish. Next up, we are going to Penn State.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I thought I had shared my screen, but maybe it didn't. Let me try this again. There we go. Can everyone see this, hopefully?
Yep, looks great.
Perfect. So thank you everyone for joining us today. My name is Isabel, and I am the not only an admissions counselor at Penn State, but I'm also the recruiter for both California and Nevada. So it's really great to join all of you today. So just a little bit about Penn State. We are in the Big Ten Conference. So we are able to offer our students not just the highest quality of academics, of course, but also a ton of school spirit, school pride, big time sports, amazing resources and opportunities, and incredible inside and outside of the classroom experiences to make sure, that your college years aren't just academically and intellectually rewarding, but truly years that you will remember and treasure for the rest of your life. Penn State is ranked in the top 1% out of all colleges and universities throughout the globe. We are a Research One university, and we allocate over $1 billion in undergraduate research expenditures annually, which means that we're able to provide research opportunities for our students in all fields of study as early as their freshman year. And we're really proud of this fact. We also have the largest living alumni network in the world, and we take great pride in this. So we focus really, really heavily on setting our students up for success after graduation. So we offer a top-ranked career services center, numerous career fairs throughout the year. You know, a lot of them are based on your academic college, what field and discipline you're heading into, but we also host a university-wide fair that is huge. It's attended by nearly every Fortune 500 company. It even has a waiting list, but not a waiting list for students, a waiting list for employers to participate. And we also have innovation hubs in all of our campuses to support our students with their entrepreneurial dreams. We also have over 300 study abroad programs, ranging from shorter embedded programs, which allow you to take a trip abroad for about a week or so, usually over winter or spring break. But we also have the more traditional semester to full year abroad experiences. And we are a large university, of course, so we have over 275 different academic programs and over 1,200 student clubs and activities. Now, we are most well known for our business, engineering, nursing, and science programs, but we have so much more than that, from the creative and performing arts, agricultural sciences, information sciences, liberal arts, education, and even more than that. So in case you're not super familiar with where we are here in Pennsylvania, as with the rest of my colleagues here this evening, here we are highlighted in red. So we are on the East Coast, from the center of our Commonwealth, right in the center of the state, which is also where our largest campus, University Park, is located. We're about 3 to 4 hours to some great East Coast cities like Philly, Pittsburgh, New York City, Baltimore, and Washington, D.C. And the most unique thing about Penn State, I would say, is our many, many different campus locations and our 2+2 plan. So as you can see here, we have 20 different campus locations that offer a huge variety of campus sizes, locations, cost, but we are one university. So one application, one transcript. Our 2+2 plan allows students in almost any of our degree programs the flexibility to start their Penn State career at any campus and complete the final 2 years of their degree at the specific ending campus that offers their degree. So yes, University Park here in the center, we have that large campus, but if you want that Penn State education, but you're looking for a smaller campus feel, we have those options for you. Or maybe you want to be like in the midst of a major city in a more urban environment, or you like being in a vibrant college town, or you would feel like you would do best in a small, quiet, rural setting. We have those options as well. And we also have different campus locations that are more affordable than our large main campus. So no matter which campus you attend, you will receive the same high quality Penn State education. And ultimately, your transcript and your diploma will say the Pennsylvania State University. And we have a really straightforward application process. We don't require any essays. We don't require any letters of recommendation for our general Penn State app. And we are test optional through at least 2023. So the only thing you'll need to submit for a complete application to us is an online application. And we have our own application on our My Penn State portal, but we're also on the Coalition and we're on the Common App. So whichever one makes the most sense for you, that's perfect. And then you'll fill out your self-reported academic record, of course. We have an early action deadline of November 1st, which is a non-binding deadline, and applying by this date will always give a student their best chance of being admitted. So that's very, very highly recommended that you apply by, but we'll always take applications after that, just on a rolling basis. Now, if you walk away from anything in my brief presentation tonight, just know that you have a really wonderful opportunity to become a part of a huge network of incredibly successful and proud alumni who are going to be super excited to open a lot of doors for you as a fellow Penn Stater. So if you want to know more about anything that I just very briefly mentioned this evening, or you just kind of want to ask some more questions, please feel free. This is our general admissions email, but of course, I would love it if you also just reached out to me directly with any questions that you have, or just wanting to know more information. And I would also very much recommend that you check out our Experience Penn State page here for virtual tours, virtual student panels, info sessions, etc. And I hope to hear from all of you soon. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. Okay, next up, we're going to Lafayette College.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kathleen Williams from Lafayette. Let's see if I can screen share and do what I need to do here. So I am the director for the West Coast. I am a former Californian, so I now live in Pennsylvania and have experienced the snow. It's a great place to live, and no conversation about Lafayette College would be complete without talking about this guy right here, the Marquis de Lafayette. So at the age of 19, he set sail in defiance of the King of France to help the colonists. He was really quite important in the Revolutionary War, became like a son to George Washington. He was an abolitionist, he was a suffragist, and so this young man at the age of 19 really was a doer. And that kind of spirit permeates the campus at Lafayette. You are looking at an aerial view of Lafayette so that you can tell that there are rivers in the area. In fact, Easton, Pennsylvania sits where the Lehigh and Delaware rivers converge in the town of Easton, a city of 30,000 people in the Lehigh Valley that you just saw on the map previously shown by one of my colleagues. So Easton, we like to say we are in the middle of everywhere. Easton is about 2 hours from New York City. That's even accounting for traffic, and about an hour and a half from Philadelphia. So equidistance from both places, about 70 miles, but it's that pesky New York traffic that will get you. You're looking at a picture of downtown Easton. You'll notice you're not seeing any chains or anything like that, chain restaurants. In fact, if you are a foodie, you will be very, very pleased with all the different restaurant options, but they are local. The roundabout that you're seeing is home to the oldest farmers market in the country. Lots going on downtown. We have our own arts campus down there. So Lafayette, to orient you, sits up on the hill back here, and the arts campus is downtown. It's where our film and media studies students, our theater and our fine arts students take their classes. Our black box theater is there, our cinema, our radio and television stations. Easton itself has kind of a cool art scene to it, which is probably not surprising because Easton is home to the Crayola crayon. So probably the first art that you ever created was with a Crayola crayon, and it came from Easton, Pennsylvania. Those of you who might be familiar with the Gilroy Garlic Festival will be happy to know that Easton itself holds one, not as big, but lots and lots of fun. That happens in October. It's also home to Bacon Fest, my favorite festival, where about 100,000 people will converge on the city. The students definitely take advantage of downtown Easton. It's walkable from campus in about 10 or 15 minutes. And it's home to the oldest farmers market in the country, which our students definitely go to. Our students are very much into sustainability. We have our own farm and they love to come down for fresh produce. Lafayette has about 2,500 students. We are from most of the states. If you know anybody from the Dakotas, send them our way. We seem to have a paucity of students from the Dakotas. But if you are looking for a place where your presence is going to make a difference, where you're going to know your professors and they're going to know you, then Lafayette may be just the place for that. With a ratio of 10 students to every faculty member, you will definitely be known, and you will also have all the research opportunities because we are an undergraduate college only. So you will always be taught by professors. What's academic life like? Well, we have 4 divisions: the Division of Engineering, which is ranked number 13 in the country, the Social Sciences, the Natural Sciences, and the Humanities. We ask that our engineers declare their major by the end of freshman year, everybody else by the end of sophomore year. This is a place where it's very common to double major, major minor, or in some instances get dual degrees. We do not admit by major. Quite literally, you could put down art and decide that you wanted to be an engineer, and we would say, welcome to engineering. So know that you have a lot of academic freedom with us. Student life, we have over 200 clubs and organizations. We are in the Patriot League. It's probably surprising to some of you, that is a Division I league. So we have 23 Division I schools. If you were to Google college football rivalries, the rivalry would come up in the top 10 or a top 25 list. That is the rivalry between Lafayette and Lehigh. These two schools have played each other more times than any 2 schools in the nation, having played their 150th game at Yankee Stadium in New York City to a sold out crowd of nearly 50,000 people. The Empire State Building was lit up on one side with Lafayette colors and on the other side with Lehigh colors. You do not need to go to a big school to get big school spirit. For admissions, we are a common application school. We have early decision and regular decision. We're also one of a number of about 30 schools or so that meets 100% of demonstrated financial need. So cost should not be an impediment to attending Lafayette if you are accepted. We also have full, half, and full and half tuition scholarships and smaller marquee awards at $20, $15, and $10,000 for merit scholarships. We will be test optional for the next 3 years, and we definitely do a holistic review of your application. So demonstrated interest is important to us, so great that you're here tonight. We recommend interviews, and those interviews, for those of you who are juniors right now, are available now. Lots of virtual events also going on. So thank you for your time. I look forward to hearing from you later. And Tyler, back to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Kathleen. Okay, next up, we are going to Drexel University with Cheryl.
All right, thanks so much, Tyler. Hi, everyone. My name is Cheryl Tevlin. I'm an Associate Director of Undergraduate Admissions at Drexel University, which is located in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We are located right in the city, so we're absolutely an urban school. City streets run through campus. You'll see taxis going by. There are food trucks all over the place. It's a really fun place to be for college, but just know that we do have a full campus. So it's not like we're a city school that's scattered all across the city. Everything is pretty much together. We are residential. Students live on campus at least their first 2 years. Just one other point about where we're located. Our section of the city is called University City. It's about a 25-minute walk to City Hall, so the very center of Philadelphia. But there are 2 other universities located in our neighborhood. So there are actually over 40,000 college-age students in the area. So there's always a lot to do. Our undergraduate population makes up, as you can see on your screen, about 15,000 of those 40,000 college-age students in the neighborhood. But even though we are a larger private school, this is not going to impact your classroom experience as much as you might anticipate. You can see on your screen our median class size, our student to faculty ratio are much smaller than you might expect. And that's very intentional. We have a strong focus on experiential education. So we do a lot of hands-on project-based learning, which is not something that you can do if you're in a large lecture. You might have 1 or 2 larger classes depending on your major, but that'll mostly be in your first year. After that, your classes are going to be much smaller so that you can have those hands-on experiences. We have over 80 majors across 15 colleges and schools, so there's a lot to choose from. Some of the majors that I see students applying to the most from the West Coast would be areas like engineering, business, computer science, nursing, media arts and design. We offer everything in between. We have an esports business program, a culinary arts major, great communication, psychology, pretty much anything you can think of. If you know what you want to study, you would apply directly to that major. If you don't know, no problem. We have great undeclared options. But if you know what you want to study, all of our programs are direct entry. So that's important to know, including nursing. And you do start taking classes in your major from your first year. So we don't front load your general education classes. It's not like you need 2 years of gen eds before you get into your major. You start it right away, and then the gen eds are woven throughout your curriculum. I want to jump back to that idea of experiential education that I mentioned a moment ago. We do, through our classroom experiences, have a lot of hands-on opportunities, but the biggest way that that really makes itself known at Drexel is through our co-op program. Co-op stands for cooperative education, and it's like a more in-depth version of an internship. It is a 6-month break from your classes where you are working in your field of interest, typically in a full-time paid job. That can vary a bit by industry, but this is a program that we have offered for over 100 years. So we actually have over 1,500 different employers that we work with across the US and across the world. So it's really easy for you to get experiences in the place that makes the most sense for your industry. So if that's film, LA is going to be a great place. If it's business, maybe it's New York. Fashion, perhaps Paris. You have a lot of opportunities to really dig into your area of interest, build a strong resume, make sure that it's actually the direction you want to go. Some students go on co-op and realize this isn't what I want to do, and that's okay. You can easily change your major. You're also, though, building a strong connections in your field, which is really helpful because it really does matter who you know. That networking can make a big difference when you're applying for jobs after college. So that's a little bit about co-op. If you have more questions, definitely drop them in the Q&A. I know it's a little bit different than what a lot of schools offer, but it really does help to prepare our students for life after college, whether that's grad school, med school, law school, or a job. It really does help to set our students apart for those processes. Moving on to student life, we have a very active and engaged student body. We have over 350 clubs and organizations. We are Division I for sports. We have performing arts, Greek life, great club sports, and intramurals. It's pretty unusual to meet a Drexel student who's not involved in something. So no matter what your interests are, we likely have something that matches. And if we don't, you can start your own club or organization. It's really easy to do that at Drexel. And then one other thing I want to highlight is that we do have a very strong focus on community service at Drexel. Actually, one of the classes you're required to take in your first year is called Civic Engagement 101, where you learn more about how to be a strong member of the community and make a positive impact. But you also do 10 hours of community service. Not a big requirement, but we want students to see that there's need in the city and that we are in a position to make a difference and have a positive impact. So finally, I do want to talk about the admissions process very quickly. We are test optional for the next 2 years. We do full holistic review. We're on both the common application and the coalition application. Any of you here who are from Northern California or Nevada, I would be the first person to review your application. A couple of my colleagues would be helping out if you're from Southern California, but just know if you have any questions, if you want to learn more, please reach out to me. My contact info is on the screen. I am always happy to help. No question is too small, or don't ever think that a question you have is silly or anything along those lines. Everyone here tonight is here to help you. We are all in these jobs because we love working with students. So just remember, reach out. We're here to help and happy to help. And I will turn it back over to Tyler now.
Awesome. Thanks, Cheryl. Okay. Next up, we are going to Gettysburg College with Courtney.
Thanks, Tyler. So as you have heard from all of these amazing Pennsylvania schools, Pennsylvania is a beautiful place to be. You will get all 4 seasons. And this year we learned it's a great place to vote. So for those of you who didn't see this, President Biden was actually in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania in October for part of his campaign. So that is something that Gettysburg is known for. It's this city that is rich in history. And I think most of you have probably heard about it, maybe in your history class, but our students from all over love our proximity to the major cities. So we're only an hour from Baltimore, an hour and 20 minutes to Washington, D.C., and we have a shuttle every day, every 3 hours to pick you up right outside baggage claim and bring you to campus. So when we can travel again safely, please come to campus. We actually started tours in February. So if you are adventurous and healthy and Pennsylvania is now welcoming visitors from out of state, please come visit. We have 2,600 amazing students from all over the world. But what our students are really drawn to is that balance of having a double major and possibly a minor, and also being involved in 3 or 4 or 5 clubs and organizations. So I think that's the type of student that we attract. One of our big traditions, you can see in the picture here, is our first year walk, where it really connects you to the town. You get to line up with your first year class and walk through the center of town. The marching band is out. You get to walk to the National Park and hear a guest of honor read the Gettysburg Address and really think about where you're studying for 4 years. We are Division III for athletics, and we are good. So please get in touch with the coach if you are thinking of playing a Division III sport. We are also really big on public service. Our students are really concerned about social change and making a difference in our local community, but also in our global community. So again, if that's something that you're interested in, please feel free to explore a little more. I am putting a lot of links in the chat, so please copy these and put them on a document or an email. And you can start to look through and read a little bit more about Gettysburg. There's some great videos to give you a feel of this beautiful campus, which is behind me. The academics, we are the traditional liberal arts and science school with a lot of research institutions. We are also all undergraduate. So you are the research assistants on campus. The average class size is 17. Your largest class size might be around 30 and your smallest might be around 5. We have 65 majors, minors, and special programs, and we give you the first 2 years to really figure it out. So some of the more popular ones are definitely political science, economics, business, organization and management studies, psychology, health sciences, biology. Some of the more popular minors are education, business, peace and justice studies, and Spanish. We have about an 88% acceptance rate into medical school, 100% acceptance rate into law school. So we get a lot of students that are interested in going into law as well. Two programs that you're going to see on this slide that really set Gettysburg apart from other small liberal arts schools are the Eisenhower Institute for Public Policy and Leadership. This is something that we have an office on campus, and we have an office in Washington, D.C., 2 blocks from the White House. So it's our direct connection to Washington for our students. We also have the Sunderman Conservatory of Music, and this is for all students. We have 1 in 7 students that are involved in choirs or a 100-person marching band, but then we also have students that have auditioned or sent in a recording, and they are a music major or a music minor, and there are 100 musical performances throughout the year. So if you love music, it's a great place to just be surrounded by that. Some of the things that I think we've all kind of talked about is it's not just about getting a degree and being involved outside of the classroom, but really it's learning the skills that will help you be successful. And that is something we start from day one, from jobs and internships and research experiences on campus and in the local community, connecting with alumni, as well as parents. They help support our students. And we're really proud of that. 98% of our students have a job or in graduate school within a year of graduation. I also love this photo of graduation because everyone's wearing their blue stoles of gratitude, and you get to give this to one person that has really impacted your 4 years. And that really sums up who we are as Gettysburg. You have this amazing 4-year experience with a lot of people helping you get to that finish line. Here are some of the updates. So the new major in business management and organization studies, that is huge at Gettysburg right now. We combined our international and globalization studies into one major, and the new data science. I think you're hearing that at a couple schools, but that has become really popular. We have a $40,000 scholarship for civic engagement, and this is just the 2nd year that we've had that. But if you're really involved in civic engagement, please take a look at that. We do use the common application. So your juniors, your application will come out in August, and we do look at every single piece. We have been test optional for over 14 years now, and all of our merit scholarships are also test optional. There's a great list on WACAC of 500 schools that say they're test optional, and we are on that list. So please know, if you don't have the opportunity or don't feel your testing represents you, it's okay to be test optional at Gettysburg. Anyone who applies will automatically get consideration for merit scholarships. There are 3 that require additional pieces: the Eisenhower Scholarship, the STEM Scholars, as well as the Music Scholarship requires an audition. We do look at both the FAFSA and the CSS profile, and you can see our deadlines here. I really encourage you to visit. There's so many great virtual opportunities now, and we do take a look at that as demonstrated interest. So I really wish you all the best, and I'm going to turn it back to Tyler.
Great, thanks, Courtney. Okay, and last but certainly not least, we are going to Becca with Muhlenberg College.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tyler. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Becca Larson. I'm the Regional Director of Admissions for Muhlenberg College. We are a small liberal arts college located in Allentown, Pennsylvania. So earlier you heard Kathleen talking about the Lehigh Valley, which is where Lafayette is located, and Muhlenberg is also a part of the Lehigh Valley. We are located in Allentown, which is the 3rd largest city in the state of Pennsylvania. We're about 60 miles from Philadelphia, 90 miles from New York City. And we have our very own airport in the city of Allentown that's about a 10-minute drive from campus. So it's quite easy to get to campus. We're also close to Newark and Philly and have great shuttle and carpool opportunities for students. So it's pretty easy as a student from California to get all the way to Allentown. So I always like to highlight that. Allentown itself, as I said, is the 3rd largest city in Pennsylvania. So there's lots going on within the city of Allentown, great cultural opportunities. Healthcare is actually one of the biggest industries within the Lehigh Valley. So we have 3 major hospitals within close proximity to campus, and we have opportunities for both research and clinical experiences within those hospitals, which is something that's really special for our students. We enroll just under 2,000 students at Muhlenberg, so we are quite small. But we really are known as a college where students really care deeply for one another. We're known, we've been called consistently over the years the caring college. We're also a place where students are known for holding doors open for one another. And every single door on our campus is actually red, which is a Lutheran sign of welcoming. So it's, opening doors is a big part of our overall campus experience. Another big point of pride for us is that we've been consistently ranked as with some of the top college food in the nation. So lots of really tasty meals coming out of our dining hall each and every day. We are a Division III school. We have 22 different varsity sports, including football. Our football team did make it to the Final Four in D3 championships last year. And while our season was canceled this year, we're just putting all of that energy into our 2021 season to hopefully go even further than we have in the past. So you can see a few other statistics on here, and I'll kind of highlight some of them later on. But academically, we offer just under 40 majors at Muhlenberg. Some of the majors that you're likely most familiar with when you're doing research about Muhlenberg is we're very strong within the arts, specifically the performing arts. We have a top-ranked theater program that does offer a concentration in musical theater. We also have dance, visual arts, film studies, music. So there's lots of performance opportunities available on campus. And about a third of our students double major. So there's a ton of opportunities to study across multiple academic disciplines. Our artistic programs really feel that a broadly educated person makes for a more compelling artist. So we're definitely a place where you can be a theater major and a bio major, or a neuroscience major and a dance major. So there's a ton of opportunities in that regard. Beyond our programs within the arts, we also are very strong within the sciences. We have a great pre-med program and about an 87% admit rate into medical school, something we're really proud of. And we also have newer majors in sustainability studies, public health, neuroscience, so a lot of interdisciplinary academic opportunities for our students. Beyond the arts and the sciences, we have business, accounting, economics, and finance, media and communications. There truly is something for everyone, and you don't have to declare your major until the end of sophomore year, so you have plenty of time to figure out what it is that you want to study. Our faculty are immensely supportive. They're a huge part of the overall student experience. They love to mentor and support students, and we have a ton of opportunities for undergraduate research that our students are able to get involved in. And because we're strictly an undergraduate college, you're not competing with graduate students for seats in those labs. So a ton of hands-on learning opportunities for all of our students. Just to quickly shift gears and talk about life beyond Muhlenberg, we want to prepare students as best as we can for what's next. So we do have several academic partnerships with the University of Pennsylvania College of Dentistry. We have an accelerated program with SUNY College of Optometry. We also have early assurance medical programs with Boston University and Temple University, respectively. So those are, you still spend 4 years at Muhlenberg, but you get into medical school a little bit earlier, things like that. So we want to make sure that our students feel prepared for what's next and supported in that endeavor. Our newest academic partnership is our 3+3 program in partnership with Villanova University School of Law. So you get to stay in Pennsylvania to study law, and you graduate from Muhlenberg a bit early through that program. Most of these programs don't require you to apply early. Indicate an interest when you're applying for admission. You declare them once you get to campus. The only exception is our dental and optometry programs. You have to let us know when you're applying for admission. We offer a ton of great internship opportunities. We certainly take advantage of our proximity to New York and Philadelphia and Washington, D.C. So our Career Center will take students on what we call career road trips, where you'll go to a different city, for the day and do site visits at a bunch of different businesses. We also have a great alumni network that really allows our students to get hands-on experience in various fields for maybe a couple of days, for an externship, or really just to network. That's something that, we really love to see how involved and engaged our alumni are in helping move our students forward. And I know I'm running out of time, so I'll quickly mention that we are a Common Application exclusive school. So the only way to apply to Muhlenberg is through the Common App. We have been test optional since 1996. So just about 25 years we've been test optional. So our admission process didn't change significantly this year, but we are now test optional for our honors programs, which is something that's really exciting. We very much encourage students to engage with us. So being here tonight is great, but certainly scheduling an interview or finding other ways to demonstrate interest is something that we very much value. And I will pass things off to Tyler so we have some time for Q&A, but thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Awesome, thanks, Becca. Okay, well, if all of our presenters want to go ahead and turn their cameras back on, we have time for a few last questions here at the end. Students, if you have any questions yourselves for our presenters, now would be a great time to drop those in the Q&A and we can answer them in our last few minutes. But the first question I'm going to ask each of our presenters is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? and we will start with the same order we went through, and you guys can take it away.
Thanks, Tyler. So the advice that I would give to someone working through the college search process is ask lots of questions and also pay attention to details. And that includes, deadlines and what things colleges need, because you don't want to wait until the last second. So if you don't know, ask. We're here to help you, but we also need you to then, pay attention to those important deadlines and stuff. So that'd be my biggest piece of advice. And also have fun. It should be a fun process. So always want to add that.
I'll kind of echo what Kelsey said and say that take it for sure, ask questions, and kind of going along with that, take advantage of all of us here on the screen and our sort of our colleagues in other institutions that you're looking at, because if you're looking at numerous institutions, the different requirements, the different deadlines, what a school is looking for can vary so much from school to school that it can be hard to get all of that information on the website, even though those are great resources. So ask us all, contact us directly, ask us what are requirements, what is the deadline or deadlines that you really should pay attention to for our particular school, because we can get you that information directly instead of kind of questioning or not knowing really what the requirements are.
So there are nearly 4,000 schools in this country, and I just want to impart that you are going to find multiple schools that you love and multiple schools that love you. So I think that the first thing you need to know is just that. So even though you're at the beginning of this journey, know that you're going to find a lot of wonderful places. Also, I would say, don't be afraid to explore schools you've never heard of. You might not have ever heard of some of our schools, but that doesn't mean that these schools might not be a great fit for you, and that it might be exactly where you will find yourself wanting to be. So I think that, be open to exploring and know that there are plenty of great choices out there. There you go.
My piece of advice is just to use the resources that are available to you. So yes, use us as resources, but also use your college counselor, your college and career center. If you have a school that you think is a really good fit, go to them and ask if they know any schools that are kind of similar, so that you can expand your list with schools that are that have the things that you're looking for. And then also know that because of COVID, I know that's made things harder. You can't get to schools as easily, but that also means that we all have far more opportunities for virtual interactions than we've ever had in the past. So it is really easy to learn a lot, and actually in some cases to engage more in the particular or more with the particular department that you're interested in or major that you're interested in than it's ever been in the past. So use our websites, use those virtual resources. They will help.
Two things: reflect on who you are and what's important to you, not just academics, but outside the classroom. Again, what do you need to support your identity and how you show up day to day? And also brag. This is one thing that I know we're told in a lot of childhood not to brag, not to put things out there. You have accomplished a lot, and we are all really interested in finding out all of those things. So make sure, if you haven't started, you have a list of all your activities and give us description of what those are. But yeah, this is your time to be proud and brag a little. So reflect and brag.
It's really hard to go last, y'all, because my colleagues offered such great advice. But I will say, I think something to keep in mind as you're navigating this process is to practice self-care and give yourself some time where you're not thinking about this process, because I think it's really easy to make it something that feels all-consuming. It's often a question, the first question that family members, strangers, people in your life are going to ask. And it's okay to say, you know what, it's been a stressful process. I don't really want to talk about it right now, right? So give yourself time to do things that you love, that you're passionate about, that maybe don't have anything to do with the college process, because you want to enjoy your senior year as well. So I'll kick it back to Tyler.
Awesome, thanks, Becca. Okay, we have time for one more. So what is your favorite event or tradition on campus? And Kelsey, we'll go back to you.
I'll keep it nice and short and sweet. One of my favorite traditions is after we win a home football game, you will see our Cathedral of Learning, which is a 42-story building, light up the entire sky all over the city. So they're called victory lights, and I love seeing them after a good win.
There's so much at Penn State. I would say the one that comes to mind first is the "We Are" chant. That's pretty universal across Penn State. And I'll just say, so the "We Are" chant is if someone yells "We Are" to you, you respond Penn State.
Penn State.
Yeah, awesome. And quick story, I was hiking in Muir Woods last fall, right before COVID hit, wearing a Penn State sweater, and two couples walking past me in the middle of the forest in Northern California yelled, "We are!" And of course I had to yell Penn State back. So that was awesome.
That's great. So a really cool tradition at Lafayette is your first year, 1,000 nights before graduation, there's a big formal dance for your entire class. And that same big formal dance occurs 100 nights before graduation. So lots of students will go back to their first year residence halls. They'll reminisce. They'll say, I can't believe it's been 4 years or almost 4 years because they only have 100 days left. Really cool tradition, a lot of symmetry in it. And you know, that's part of being at a college that really is a community.
So the tradition I want to highlight actually relates to cold weather. I know that's something that makes a lot of students from the West Coast nervous. Don't let it, you get used to it very quickly. But when it snows, students tend to, it's a tradition on campus, they go to the Philadelphia Art Museum, which is a huge staircase up the front of it, and they actually go sledding down it. So that's something that students on our campus really love to do.
So I already mentioned one of my favorites, the first year walk. So the second favorite is Thanksgiving dinner. And this is something where you get to sit with all of your 10 to 12 new closest friends and sit and have a family style meal. You're served by the faculty and staff, and they serve you a full Thanksgiving meal. And some of our alums still get together and have their Gettysburg Friendsgiving beyond their 4 years. So
I'll keep talking about food because I know both Gettysburg and Muhlenberg are known for their tasty food. We have, and I think a lot of colleges have this, but we have a midnight breakfast during finals week. It's just a great opportunity for students to, take a breather from all that time spent in the library. And what's really fun about midnight breakfast, in addition to the delicious food, is the fact that the folks who are serving you in the dining hall are generally faculty and staff. So you get to, kind of see them during a stressful time. And so it's a tradition that students look forward to, both for the tasty food and for the celebration of community.
Great. Well, thank you all so much for sharing. Thank you to our presenters for being here tonight. And thank you to all the students who took time out of your afternoon and evening to listen as well. So when you close this window, there will be a very quick 4-question survey. If you don't mind filling that out for us, we'd really appreciate any feedback that you have. Don't forget, this is just one of many sessions being offered. So check that StrideScan website, sign up for any additional sessions you might be interested in. There are more this evening, as well as more virtual affairs coming up in April and May for you as well. And then this session will be available, the recording of this session will be available on that StrideScan website within about a week or so. So thank you so much for joining us. Have a great evening, and we will see you in the next session.